Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to Elise Reads and Speaks. Thank you for tuning in today. We're going to have a slightly different video than we normally do. I'm just going to talk about trigger warnings today. I've seen a lot about this on book Twitter, the hot mess that place is, and there's a lot of people who seem up in arms about some books that have come out that don't have trigger warnings. So I just kind of want to start that conversation and see what you guys think. So for those of you that just tune into my videos off of Facebook, thank you, friends and family, that may not know what trigger warnings are. These are like the little notes that come before a TV show that says, you know, suggested mature adult has violence or strong language or something like that, okay? So the problem that people are having in the book world is that there are not trigger warnings for certain books if they have sexual abuse or I can't even think of something right off the top of my head, but some other things out there that some people may be triggered by. They want to know about it beforehand. Some are arguing that all books should have them because TV shows have them, and why not? And that makes sense. Other people are arguing, well, why should they have them? You should know yourself, and if you need to know a trigger warning, you as the reader should be responsible for that, which I get too. So I just wanted to like have this conversation and see what you guys think, and also tell you my thoughts about it too. So it makes me think of this one book that I read this year, Girls of Paper and Fire. Now that book has some sexual abuse in it, but that is not what triggered me. Like, I respond really badly to animals dying, and I'm not spoiling anything by saying that in the first or the second chapter of the book, this dog dies in a really brutal way, and I just couldn't get it out of my head for the entire time that I was reading the book. Now, granted, okay, I understand. Dog death, sexual trauma, like, one is a much bigger deal than the other to people, and I completely get that, okay? My problems with dog death, they don't hold a candle to people's actual issues with sexual abuse, okay? But knowing that that is something that really triggers me and really makes it hard for me to enjoy the rest of a book. I mean, I hated Girls of Paper and Fire, but like, that had nothing to do with the dog death and everything to do with the writing. But just the fact that that scene would not leave my mind for the entire time that I was reading that book, I mean, I would consider that a bit of a trigger, you know? So like, I know about myself, and going into the next books that I want to read, if I hear that there's some animal dying in it, I mean, perhaps I may not want to read that one. Another book that I think of that has that is something I read in high school, All Quiet on the Western Front. One of the scenes that sticks with me are these horses that are running into the war zone, and this guy that had grown up on a farm was really having a tough time with it, and it was driving him insane. And I remember that scene. That scene sticks out for me. I think I read that in 11th, 12th grade. So it's been a while, but that's something that really sticks in my head. So I think that's something that triggers me. All right. Do I feel that books need to advertise that there's some animal abuse in it? No, in that case, I really think that it's on me, okay? Like, I think that's a trigger that doesn't apply to everyone, and that's really on me to research. So that brings me to another trigger, okay? The sexual abuse. Is that on the reader to research and know beforehand, like without the author's help? Or do you think something that is so intense and so present in a lot of people's lives, do you think that they should have that in the advertising for the book as a trigger warning? I don't know. And the reason that I don't know is that I think of these other books that have sexual abuse or sexual trauma or something along that line in their book, and it's kind of a reveal at the end. Now, I understand that people are going to come for me and say, okay, well, it shouldn't be used as a plot device. Listen, there are all different types of books out there, and sometimes these things are revealed at the end. There's one in particular that I was not expecting. I'm not going to say, like, characters or what happens, but if you're familiar with The Perks of Being a Wallflower, that one took me by surprise, and I guess it wouldn't have been a major deal if they had said that the book contains sexual abuse. I wouldn't have been looking for it. But the fact that I didn't know it was going to happen, it made the book have more of an impact on me. So I also wouldn't want to ruin that for myself. Okay, so it's like I'm back and forth. And I just kind of want to know what you think. Like, what do you think that authors and publishers should do? If you have some deep subject matter in your book that may affect people, should you put it right there in the description? Should you let people find out for themselves? Or do you think readers are responsible for that? They know themselves and they should be looking into these things and not having to bother the publishers and the authors with that? Like, I don't know. Like, I personally feel that if a book is about sexual trauma, I mean, that should be in the description, right? Like, I mean, don't tell me it's about rainbows and it's, you know, somebody gets raped. Like, that's awful, okay? I don't think that happens, but you never know. Oh, you know what? That makes me think of this one book that I read. I think it's called Accepted. I forget who it's by, okay? But I'll put a picture of it here when I look it up. Right here, right here. Do you see it? Okay, this book, I did not like it. I did not like it, okay? Oh, I think there's a bug on my nose. Whatever. What are you gonna do? This book had just this sexual abuse come out of nowhere. Nowhere. Had nothing to do with the plot, like, at all. They could have taken it out and the book would have been the exact same thing. And I got to the end of the novel and I was like, oh my gosh. If people are actually triggered by that, they would not have been expecting that at all. And then at the end of the book, it's like, why did you even put that in? That has nothing to do with anything. Oh, the rage that I felt. It was awful. It was awful. Okay, so if that is a trigger for you, you should know. You should know beforehand, before getting into this book. Plus, I mean, it was just, I don't like it anyway. Okay, but it's a good conversation starter, okay? Like, what, do we need to include triggers? And if we do, to what extent? I mean, what if somebody's triggered by slugs or something? Like, do you need to write that? I don't know. Everybody has different triggers. However, I guess we can use the TV shows as a guidance, how they have mature content or adult matter. What are the other ones? Violence, drugs? Is drugs one? I don't know. But it's stuff to make sure that your kid is not watching something that they shouldn't be watching. But as young adults and new adults and even adult, like, should we just expect they were older and just accepting or expecting these things? I don't know. Okay, so I started this video to just have a conversation. I would love to know your thoughts. Feel free to share your triggers in the comments below. This is a safe space. I respond to everything. And I really just want to talk. I really want to know what you think. So anyway, thanks for tuning in to Elise Reads and Speaks. I will catch you next time with more uplifting topic. Bye.